Well, good evening. Good evening. Welcome to the Black Business Expo Olympics. I am your moderator for this evening, Yvette Searson. We're so happy to have you here, thought leaders, business owners, and corporations. Listen, I am referred to as the life insurance auntie, and I want you to know that I am on a mission to stamp out use of GoFundMe to bury our loved ones. But tonight, I'm here to introduce you to an incredible speaker. His name is Grant McGaugh, and he is a brand development master, also called a BDM. He provides strategies which harnesses the value and revenue generation and brand recognition, servicing small businesses as well as Fortune 500 companies, such as Zones Incorporated, CenturyLink, and Avaya. This high achieving business owner has received many awards, such as special recognition as the 2020 nomination for African American Achievers by 3M Family Enterprises, and the 2019 award for Healthcare Leadership by Legacy Magazine. I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Grant McGaugh.
How you doing, Yvette?
I'm great, Grant. How are you tonight?
I'm doing just fine. With an intro like that, man, I'm just getting pumped up. I feel like I'm all inflated. Like, wow, that was great. Thank you.
Well, you are a dynamic individual, so you definitely deserve it. And I'm going to get out of your way and let you know
one moment. Before you
Yes.
vacate, I want you to, if you can, listen to my presentation.
Absolutely.
Because toward the end, we might have some Q&A. And I'd like you to have some questions and answers. So, because none of this is easy as you think about it. I'm going to be talking about the personal brand of you as a brand, as a human being, as a brand. And this is take some self-reflection.
Okay.
And thinking through things before we start putting things out there. That's what we're going to talk about today.
Wonderful.
So if you don't mind, and I tell the audience, please put any information into the chat so Yvette can see those. We can ask questions, anything that you would like. We can get those answered, and then we'll go ahead and start. So I'm ready to go.
Would be my honor. Genius is coming. And Grant, I'll see you on the other side.
Excellent. Well, thank you for tuning in. I want to first thank everybody on the Black Business Network. You've been tuning in to my podcast. You've been tuning in to my Follow the Brand TV series that's on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. live. The podcast drops every week. We feature so many different special individuals, and I want one of those individuals to be you for sure. So tonight we're going to talk about some things. We're going to talk about some things that will help you in your personal brand journey. So let's talk about branding and the idea of concepts. I treat concepts as conceptual art, as art for which the idea or concept behind the work is more important than the finished art object. What do I mean by that? So your personal brand is also an art form. It is about how you shape and mold the narrative of your ideal. So I am a multi-dimensional being with many ideas, activities, and manifestations. So how do we put all of that we are into our personal brand so that it is a work of art? Concept art is a form of visual art used to convey an idea for use in films, video games, animation, comic books, or other media before it is put into the final product. So when applied to a personal brand, we come to tool sets to help us to visualize our brand before we make it visible in social and business formats. The first step to creating your personal brand is to organize your thoughts and create your personal brand vision. This is how you want yourself to be perceived by others. and how you want to live your professional and personal life. The foundation of personal branding rests on authenticity, the ability to tap into your genuine, humble, and individual human qualities from which your identity, personality, and character stem. So your personal brand is a vision board. It's a canvas that will illustrate your life's artwork. So when I created my vision board, I divided it into 4 areas of experience. That is childhood, adolescence, maturity, and mastership. Think of this in terms of your life as you step through the narratives in your story. Childhood is the beginning of awareness of a growing experience. It is the time when everything is possible. It is the world of imagination, a world without boundaries. Take yourself there and tune in to your thoughts and ideas while you were growing up, how you played and looked at life in terms of persons, places, and things. Write these memories down to capture the feelings you had as you played. Remember how you discovered what you could do and not do as a child. You begin to understand boundaries, which started to etch out the form of your existence. Remember what you like to do and why you like to do it. Remember the joy of just being. This is the beginning of your dream board, the playground to begin visualizing your values, your ideas, your goals. I used to pretend I was a professional football player. Next, I was a starship captain. Next, a martial arts expert like Bruce Lee. Yes, Bruce Lee became my archetype, the ideal I wanted to be as a child. I liked his self-discipline, and thus was born the hero archetype. As I thought about my brand, I wanted to be sure it had my values, my core values of wisdom, power, and freedom. The goal of building your personal brand is not just to get a better job or grow your company. It is about finding happiness in your professional life. I emerged from my childhood vision board exercise with the idea of becoming the hero. The hero's goal in branding is to become as competent as possible. And in achieving competency, it's about serving others. Because making the world a better place demands sacrifice and hard work. The hero is willing to do that for a more significant cause. In so doing, I will master my craft. Who is your ideal person in the form of an archetype? There are 12 brand archetypes, and these concepts are often formed early in our lives. When we rediscover our ideal, it will form the basis of our personal brand. The 12 archetypes are the hero, the magician, the outlaw, the ruler, the creator, the caregiver, the lover, the jester, the everyman, the innocent, the sage, and the explorer. You can find the definition of these archetypes at my website on 5starbdn.com. And I also encourage you to take the online questionnaire to help you to frame the beginning of your personal brand. So now my vision board had a protagonist, the hero, the person who can voyage through the world of challenges to achieve the ideal of wisdom, freedom, and power. Now I was in the world of the adolescence, the time in which I thought I knew everything, the time in which our parents and teachers were no longer relevant. They were behind the current times and limiting my dreams. The adolescent has the dream, but has not implemented it. He doesn't understand or know the laws of the greater community, where the idea must dwell to survive. Does the world see Bruce Lee or just a young, inexperienced soul? It is time to go back through time and remember my thoughts, feelings, and actions as a teenager. This is a time of disconnection, growth of recognition, and learning how the world works. I saw it as mundane, repetitive, and boring. How could I breathe life into my brand with all these conditions like money, taxes, education, and relationships? Why could I not just do it my way instead of conforming to how it was always done? In other words, how can I disrupt the limited conditions that were putting out the light of my dream? The adolescent is a dreamer with little power to change anything. I now have the choice to go forward with my dream or conform to the herd mentality. Here's where we find many entrepreneurs after they have started on the path to financial freedom. It is the time that we either quit or find another dream or forge another path forward. Over 50% of all businesses started in the US fail within the first 5 years. Only 25% of new companies make it to 15 years or more. Why? I say lack of discipline, organizational and financial structure. As the hero of my story, I faced a huge hurdle. The lack of experience would erase my vision and replace it with conformity. Who would come to my aid in a great time of need? And then I remembered my parents, teachers, friends, relatives, and my network that had gone down this path before and now could help me with mentorship, advocacy, and sponsorship. I now was the willing student of life. The hero transitioned into the Explorer Archetype and was ready and willing to listen, observe, and apply. The Explorer is motivated by independence and fulfillment. They crave freedom and unconformity. Showing bravery and self-sufficiency, they often come off confident and fearless. They're straightforward in their talk and know what they want. The Explorer Archetype is motivated by a powerful craving for new experiences, greatly valuing autonomy. The Explorer has a core desire to be free of the establishment, but not necessarily to challenge it. This archetype is willing to do about anything to avoid boredom and entrapment, even if it means taking significant risks. The Explorer is known to push boundaries and delight in unexpected discoveries, embracing a no-limit philosophy. Now, I was working through the life cycle of my personal brand, right? And at this point, I started to get a clear picture of who I am and what I want to accomplish. I can now see that I do not know everything, and I must be willing to have patience and learn. My protagonist has changed from Bruce Lee to David Carradine in the drama Kung Fu, for those who are old enough to remember. During these exercises of creating your personal brand vision board, try equating characters with which you are familiar to help you understand your character's values. In each stage of your life, business or career, you will tend to engage in situations, challenges, and narratives that will define your brand. See yourself in real life scenarios in your life and notice your behavior. Be authentic and discern your strengths and weaknesses in each life scene. Know what you see as threats and create tensions to seek out the opportunities for alternative scenarios as you move forward. Find your true mentor who can lead you to the world of maturity. I now was a member of the world of maturity and into the third phase of my personal brand vision board. Maturity is a stage in which I know who I am and understand my values. I can define my brand characteristics with clarity. I see the market in which I exist and the importance I bring to my clients seeking my assistance. I now have the experience to prioritize my time management. I can now prioritize my values, and I know how to approach my personal brand vision, my strategic objective. I can now identify my passions and figure out the activities that will give you the most reward in life. A passion is something that interests you. Passions intrigue you and make you want to investigate. They make you want to get better for personally driven reasons. A passion is something you would do even if you weren't being paid, or even something that you would pay for yourself if you had to. Now I want you to visualize yourself in the ideal state of your business or career. See yourself as the champion, the successful business owner, and the subject matter expert in your field. You now have the experience, knowledge, and capability to manage a successful career and business. You are a pillar in your community, family, and amongst your friends. You now have the training, the money, the certifications, education, affiliations, associations, and recognition from your peers. You are now living in the future. And in the end, you are everything you always wanted to be. Feel it, see it, and experience it over and over. What does that look like? What does your business or career look like? Feel the satisfaction of achieving your goals. It is like when a professional athlete wins a championship for the first time. All the hard work, dedication, discipline, disappointments, heartaches, and upsets are now at rest. And you hoist the trophy, held up on the shoulders of your mentors, your advocates, your friends, family, and sponsors. Feel the achievement. Know what success feels like. You are now the champion, the true hero of your story. You are your own brand, the brand called you. At this point, I've completed the third phase of my personal brand vision board. I am now in the world of the creator archetype. The creator, above all else, wants to innovate, create, and wow with unique solutions to problems. They resist conformity and don't follow the masses. As the creator, I now use my brand mastership and my personal brand vision board to journey to become the sage archetype, which is about finding and then giving wisdom. I seek out information and I want to understand the process of how things are done. I engage through knowledge and common interest or facts. I will impart my knowledge because knowledge helps people see truth. I use it to shape your understanding of the idea you wish to explore and assist others with it. I bring unparalleled wisdom to decision-making, and I am an invaluable source of information for advice. This archetype is the sage. As CEO of 5-Star BDM, I prepare you to optimize your personal brand through a brand strategy program. I deliver a process to develop your positioning, evaluate brand health, and manage growth. In this program, you'll gain an in-depth understanding of brand management and how to align your brand with your goals. I believe personal branding has become one of the key requirements and differentiators for individuals seeking career advancement and business growth. Brand identity and strategy is a 5-star BDM 4-week course for those professionals who are ready to adopt a creative approach to empowering their brand. What comes up when you Google yourself? This is your Google quotient, which has become a crucial part of your brand. Your recruiters will Google you and check your social media profiles whenever you have a job interview or a potential client for business. Your LinkedIn page is thus another indicator of your online professional presence. It is your job to design and build your online personal presence so that it best reflects your personal brand. As the gig economy, which is a labor market characterized by the prevalence of short-term contracts or freelance work as opposed to permanent jobs, keeps growing, it already makes up half of the workforce. That is why you will need to provide ample evidence on how you can contribute to the organization and show results. What makes you tick? What do you stand for? Why do you get out of bed every morning? What are you passionate about? What brings you joy? How will you get better in your field? Your responses to these questions will largely shape your personal brand. Your personal brand should reflect your unique strengths, talents, and authenticity. Think of your personal brand as the journey and adventure of yourself on the stage of life. Do you exemplify professionalism, a willingness to go the extra mile, adventure, risk-taking, or entertainment? Your values and personality need to shine over all your competitors. To establish a solid personal brand, you need to invest in yourself and select a long-term strategy to become a good practitioner, thought leader, and expert in your field. You will gain trust, recognition, and respect due to your long-term commitment to learning development and experimentation in your field. Think about what inspires you in your journey of discovering your greatest potential. By doing so consistently, you will feed your mind with positive messages to reach your highest goals. Now, what does my branding strategy program consist of? It is a program to help individuals and entrepreneurs systematically think about their personal brand and improve it. To better understand this in your career or business, I offer a 4-week course with 4 one-hour one-on-one coaching sessions with me. The first week, we work together. We'll review your current digital presence. We'll also look at your resume, your CV, and your bio. This will help us to assess your skills inventory. Next, we will write SMART goals for your advancement. Now, SMART goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Then you will have homework to build the framework for developing your personal story. In week 2, which is the good thing about this program, is that it's tailored to your specific needs in your career and business. It's very dynamic and very visual. I will create and deliver all your skill sets needed to achieve your goal via a skills gap analysis workbook. I give you a strategic overview of how you can best position yourself, your skills, and your knowledge in the job market against your competition. at this point, you're going to begin to know and see your positioning and key areas for measurement. Who are you? Which is your core identity. What you offer, your key capabilities. Why you are credible. Reasons for others to believe. What benefits you provide. That's your value proposition. Why you? That's positioning. How they know you. That's communication. Who needs to know? That's your target audience. What you need, which is your key investments, and what you get, which is the results. As you map out and build in these areas, you are essentially building and improving your personal brand. In week 3, I delivered the brand strategy, which we will review the brand blueprint together. The brand strategy is a 40-plus page document divided into 4 distinct areas. The first area includes your mission. Then it's your objectives, the defined strategy, approach, and market analysis and research, and differentiation strategy. Section 2 is your SWOT analysis, which consists of your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, with recommendations to identify, assess, and make changes in your mission, vision, and goals. And then section 4 consists of your target audience and your persona. Now, I'm going to conclude here, and I want to bring Yvette on. Look like she has something to say.
I do. I have a question for you.
Go right ahead.
You were talking in the beginning about walking people through a process, and even you gave the example of your superhero and having them think about how it made them feel and those types of things, just how they processed it. Do you have challenges with African Americans using their imagination?
No. Matter of fact, African Americans are very imaginative because they have to use devices that weren't handed to them. So they had to use their imagination. Now, what has happened, that's why I take you back to childhood. That's when it was most active. Most active. You observe any child, 1 to 3 years old, they will play with just about anything and create a world of experience out of it. Now, I will say this. What happens with, you say, African Americans is not in the inner ability, it's the outer conditions, the survival zone, where they're thrust into other developments before they were technically ready. Sometimes you're pushed because of socioeconomic situations. Instead of being in the child, you should be experiencing your childhood still. You're rushed into being an adolescent. Yeah. And then you're rushed into being an adult, and you're not nowhere ready to be an adult. Remember, as I walk you through that process, you're going to go through the inner workings of your own mind and how you feel about certain things. Most children go through a rebellious state, especially in their adolescence.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a good community around you that you can draw from, because you will come back to them at some point, it will happen. That's important. So I would say, no, I don't think they have a problem with imagination. I think the world basically abandons our imagination and our dreams, and they want the outer world to dream for you. They want you to tune into their dream, tune into their programming. You've got to learn to tune into your own.
I think, Grant, based on the architect of how you design and structure this, I think you're probably not seeing the challenge with people using their imagination, because what I like is you design this from start to finish, and you tell them to think about a time when, and how did it make you feel, and what are the things that you were good at, and those types of things. So I really like it, and I hope others are catching that, because A lot of times you have a struggle trying to think of a strategic plan for yourself, your objectives and so forth, because you don't know where to start. But it looks like with your process, you take a lot of the quandary out of it by saying, start here. Okay, now
Mhm.
go here. Now go there. Let's write this down. So it's just incredible how you can create something from nothing because you have the ability. Now I understand why you're called the master, the BDO. Now I understand fully. I understand. Yeah, master is at the end of that, and
Well,
and
it's a
because
process that I had to come to.
yeah,
Here's the deal. That's the hardest part is the starting point. It's the starting point.
it is.
So if you go to my website and I put an online questionnaire there, it helps you. I think there's like 12 to 15 questions there. It starts to help you to start thinking inwardly. Because before you can see, most people think of branding, they think of the outward. They think of the logos and the colors and the messaging and the content.
What
Well,
people
you
need to
can't
see.
you can't do none. You it's not going to be effective
Right.
because you're only superficial at that point.
Mhm.
When you build a brand, like my brand is built on wisdom, power, and freedom. I don't put wisdom, power, and freedom in my messaging, but it all comes from there.
Yeah.
All my colors could come from there. That comes from knowing yourself, and then of course knowing what you want to do. But you got to first understand how to dream. When you're going to have any idea or the ideal, how do you get back to that? And that's why I go back to childhood, because you think
Mhm.
about your very first memories. Typically, your memories are going to start around when you're 4 years old,
Yeah.
right before you started kindergarten in that area,
Mhm.
and you're still innocent, most people,
Yeah.
and you've got good memories, you've got friends, and think about the freedom of doing certain things. Yeah,
Mhm.
your parents or whatnot will ring you back in, but think about how you thought about things, how colorful. I remember just laying in my bed thinking I was, on the Star Trek, and I'm like, you know what, I'm Captain Kirk, and
Yeah.
I'm going off to, and visit, new worlds, and I could do
Right.
that very vividly
Right.
with my own self, right? Because I got the idea. But what I wanted you to see is that at first the some of the archetypes were coming to me,
Mhm.
and as I started to mature, I became the brand,
Mhm.
and I wasn't dependent on an outside manifestation. When I was referencing Bruce Lee and I was referencing David Carradine and Kung Fu. Remember, in that third stage, when I'm in the maturity stage, I
Yeah.
am the brand. So when
Right.
you engage in business and when you engage in your job, you are the brand.
Mhm. I heard you
And
say something that sounds like a line in the book, The Greatest Salesman in the World. You said, I will master my craft.
yeah, I didn't know that, but that's good. Yes,
Yeah, it's a line in that
yes,
book. I will master my craft because, and again, it speaks to everything that you're guiding the person through and letting them know, you'll get your true passion. But you'll have the passion, but you've got to bring excellence to it by studying and learning and putting yourself in affiliations, as you mentioned, so that you
yep.
can master your craft.
One of the biggest, I'd say, one of the mistakes I often see in early entrepreneurs is that they don't do their research and see what is already out in the market, what is being consumed, and then how are you different?
Uh,
And then is that difference really your expertise? Have you researched it? Have you
yeah.
are people coming to you for that knowledge?
Mhm.
Are you the go-to person for the endeavor that you've chosen?
Yeah. 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 And those master classes that Dr. Kelly does, he reminds us of that all the time. Do the research. And
Mhm.
then he always says, what you're looking for is looking for you.
That's right.
But you got to look for it,
You got to,
the
I mean,
information is
targeting,
there.
marketing gets into the marketing aspect, and that's what it is. You've got to
Mhm.
come together.
Yes.
You're the master. You've created this incredible solution, but you have to find where the problem is, right? But
Absolutely.
I tell people the first problem you have to solve is the personal brand problem. You got to find out where you are. Where are you? Who are you? And you be able to speak to that with major clarity, because that's your foundation in which you launch whatever it is that you are launching. That when you see your brand in action, it's an extension of yourself. And it comes from deep within, from your roots all the way out to the leaves on your trees.
Wow.
And it pulsates.
This has helped me a great deal. I thank you so much. Do you want to go ahead and leave us with your contact information again?
Absolutely.
Please do.
First, please do. Yes, please go to my website, www.5star, that's the number 5, star BDM, that's B for brand, D for development, M for masters.com. Then, if you'd like to email me, you can email me at grant.mcgaugh, it's MCGAUGH, at 5starbdm.com. And I also would tell everybody, make sure when you go to the website, look at the podcast. Follow the Brand Podcast. You will have 50 plus episodes of individuals talking about their mastership in personal branding, in business development, career development, financial empowerment, technology innovation, and I just started the Executive Presence series as well. And they're there for you to get understanding and knowledge from professionals who have done it. So I encourage everybody to do that.
Awesome. Well, Mr. McGaugh, it's always a pleasure to hear you speak and to see you, sir. Thank you so much.
Pleasure's all mine.
Absolutely. Well, just want you to know that genius is common, and we'll see you on the other side. Have a good day.
Follow the Brand TV broadcast host, Grant McGaugh, as he visits with top executives and entrepreneurs to find out their secrets of success with their personal brand. Follow the Brand TV broadcast host as he focuses on brand development to build better relationships, bring value to your business, relationships, and career. You will enjoy listening to each episode that is tailored to speak to you directly. If you're looking for this type of clarity in terms of building your brand, you have tuned into the right station. Each episode will help you to shape a conversation in the 5-Star BDM network of 20,000 professionals and become a springboard for your corporate engagement and business opportunities. Each guest will frame their story in the areas of personal branding, business development, career development, financial empowerment, and technology innovation. Grant McGaugh explains why he is the CEO and owner of his own professional career. Grant is an accomplished business leader and entrepreneur who wants to give back to individuals to grow their personal brand strategy. Tune in as he weaves his story about new possibilities, while to you exceed expectations. If you love storytelling, this show will make for fun.
5-Star BDM, Brand Development Masters, is a professional consulting and advisory group keenly focused on business development services for the small to mid-sized business and entrepreneurs. Although every business is unique, they often share business development challenges that can be addressed through smart branding. Services include process improvement and operations, digital strategy and transformation, business intelligence, digital marketing, and personal branding. Our business and personal branding company has helped a number of professionals and organizations to optimize and grow. This results in more business, more opportunities, better reach, positive outcomes. Visit www.5starbdm.com today to learn more.